Hey, Tony at Victor Litz Music here. Going to talk to you about our 44th annual sidewalk sale. Our sidewalk sale, sincerely, is legendary. People know about it nationwide, but all the locals certainly take advantage of it. We do the special purchases and closeouts. Um, any kind of one-of-a-kind items that have been here too long, we genuinely blow it out. Every year, we've got a few lost leaders that are like, what? $3,000 hammer guitar for $99 or whatever they might have been over the years. That is not one of the deals this year because I don't have a Hamer guitar for $99. So it's Victor Litz Music Center's 44th annual sidewalk sale. This is going to be June 7 and 8, 2025. Everything will be on sale. Yes, we're going to blow out some things like any of the original Fender Player Mexican series, not the Player 2, they'll be half price. Everything in the store over $50, if it's not individually blowout priced, we're going to do 20% off the regular price. And sincerely, we do the math. Some of those things will be certainly below dealer cost. But new and used and vintage, it's all going to be on sale, not just 20% off. There'll be $29 full-size acoustic guitars. I'll show you those. We probably have about 30 or 40 of them to sell. Right down here, Learn to Play Guitar package by Hal Leonard. It's a full-size steel string guitar. Most of them we've actually set up and trimmed the frets because the frets were sprouting, and we had Bill do those for us. But guitars, amps, drums, keyboards, there'll be Sonar drum sets and Mapex drum sets, $399. Some of them retail for $1,200 or more, but all these bass guitars, anything that's been here a year or so, I'm going to blow them out half of regular MAP price, not half of list, but half of MAP. Then things that are current inventory, we can do 20% off. There'll be a deal. It's 20% off cash, 15% credit card. But anything that's been here a little too long, I don't care what we lose on it. It is to be made out as a huge event, and we'll leave no stone unturned, whatever that means. But we're genuinely going to blow out a ton of this stuff. You can go shop your greatest discounts anywhere you want. And this is the biggest sale, at least on the East Coast, going for 44 years. There was a Venom in Music, the Guitar Center bought out. Venom in Music had the May Day sale, and that was legendary. But ours is about the only one that rivaled it, and we're proud of that. And we definitely are going to have some deals. I've got a bigger inventory here than we've ever had, genuinely. All this stuff, new and used. It's time to let it go. How about one of those? That's what everybody needs. A nice, small, compact mixer fit in your back pocket. It's a Ramza. Probably a $200,000 mixer in its day. There's a couple of those. But back to this department, and there's used amplifiers. Here's guitars. And then all the effects, all the drums, all the cymbals. Tons of guitars across the wall up on the ceiling. Trying to remember some of the other one-of-a-kind items we've identified so far. Band instruments, Yamaha band instrument rental instruments, 40% off, which is a steal. Many of those are like $1,500 instruments, and you can get them for well under $1,000. Keyboards, Pro Sound, effects pedals. And when we say Pro Sound, wireless microphones, speakers, stands, mixers. We're a big Mackie dealer. We stock mainly the Mackie stuff. We're a dealer for a bunch of others, but Mackie's what still sells. But all these new and used vintage guitars, everything's going to be on sale. If it's been here a while, I'm blowing it out. There'll be some attractive deals like one-of-a-kind leader items that might be $1,000 guitar. I'll tag them $99, $199 just to stir up the pot and get people's attention. So here's the Pro Sound room. Here's a amplifier that must have just come in. But all this stuff, like these rack things, who cares? Just make them go. Here's some backstock of the drums from a deal that we did. Here's, I might do, let me do that. We'll say it right now. We'll make up the rules. $29 violins. We bought out a Melody Music in Northern Virginia. We ended up with I don't know, 200 or 300 of their violins for rentals. And anything that didn't make it into our rental fleet, we sold a bunch to another music store. And we will go ahead and say $29. We're probably going to have 25 to 50 violins that we can do that with. Again, here's some of the Pro Sound stuff between new and used wireless, microphones, mixers, speakers, studio monitors by Yamaha. You can check out all the effects pedals. We've probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 glass showcases full of effects pedals, new and used. You know, when you start talking about Boss pedals, Ibanez pedals, Earthquaker devices, stuff like this at 20% off, it gets really down there. Electro Harmonix, here's some used pedals. We also sell records, guitar parts. Maybe I'll go crazy and go half price on all the Fender guitar necks and bodies. Those are always attractive to everybody. Let's call it that. If I can remember, I'm going to do all the necks and bodies at half price. That's not half of list price. That's half of map price. And that should get somebody's attention that likes to build guitars. So, you know, if it's a $250 brand new Fender, $300 brand new Fender guitar body or neck in a box new, we'll do half that. And there's some $400 ones too. So it'll be appropriate. It'll be applied accordingly. All this stuff, bunch of vintage amps. Let me zoom back out. And this is authentically some vintage gear right there. A Tone King, that's an older Mesa Boogie, a little bit older. There's certainly a Bandmaster and a Showman amp. That's a vintage Marshall amp. So the Walden guitars, which we've been killing with. So these are all brand new. This is new inventory. Check it out. Brand new inventory, all that stuff right there has probably come in the last 30 days because we kind of feature it on this kind of that staging system right there just to feature the newest, latest arrivals. 20% off. Take that to Sweetwater. Take that to Washington. Take that to Musician's Friend. Nobody's going to touch that 20%. They're going to say, no, you can't get there. Yes, you can. No, they're not ding, dent, and scratch. We're not Guitar Center. We do not let you come in here and wreck our instruments. There's Schecter guitars, Ibanez guitars, Jet guitars, Jackson guitars, Gretsch guitars, Epiphone guitars. So there's Gibson, Fender. Let's try to see if we can get an angle on these on the ceiling. There's a Gibson bow tie, not a Gibson at all, a Dean bow tie guitar, Budweiser. And here's some of the cool old ones. I forget about these guitars all the time. It's like, where's that guitar? Oh yeah, it's hanging from the ceiling. So if you like what you see, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You could like us on the social medias, and you can go to our website and join our email list to get the entire sale flyer that will come out, be spelled out. Not sure how I'm going to do it this year, but I always do it. Over here, all these cajoons, congas, bongos, many of them would be 50% off, at minimum 20% off. But there's a bunch of other new and used and vintage drums up there. And this is just the showroom. There's that many more drums and cymbals. 2 of those drum sets over there are sold. They've got sale tag, sold signs on them. So drum hardware, cymbals, stands, congas, bongos, djembes, cajoons, banjos. Got a good selection right now also of resonator guitars. One is a Dobro, which is the brand, but many of the other ones are Gretsch, Flatiron, Flint Hill, Gretsch and Gretsch, Gold Tone, all that stuff. And then in high-end and ukuleles, every ukulele short of Kamaka, 50% off. So we'll do all those ukuleles, not 50% off of what the list price is, because I sometimes do that, but we'll make it 50% off its normal selling price. Let's see if that's an example of that. Does not have the list price on it. Some of these show the list price and then our selling price, and we're going to do 50% off of our selling price. And I might do these cigar box guitars. Let me do those, $10 a piece when that time comes. Here's Beatles ukuleles, do $29 a piece. Some other cool stuff over here that we're not saying they're all 50% off, because if it's a Kamaka, we can't do that. But there is some Martin and some Kamaka, and there's a Gibson mandolin that's an expensive one. But I think that's been here a minute. I make it crazy and do that at half price. So dulcimers, all kinds of new and used mandolins. There's bowback mandolins. Probably do those for $25 a piece. They need work. They're projects. So lots of guitars in here, from Lag Guitars and Yamaha and Larrivee and Taylor and Eastman and Martin and Fender and Epiphone, more Epiphone, Gibson, Epiphone, Morgan Monroe, which is a oddball thing. That's a Ovation copy. More Larrivee, Martin, Guild, Seagull, Gretsch, Cordoba, classical guitar. These are all Martin guitars up here. Yamaha, Angel Lopez, Seagull, Guild, and Martin. So hopefully you got a good taste of what we have to offer. Victor Litz Music Center's 44th annual legendary sidewalk sale, coming June 7 and 8, 2025. You can join our email list on our website to get the entire flyer, but you can certainly subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's how we get the word out nowadays with modern technology. Here's a few other cool vintage instruments. What do we got in there? 1979 Fender bass, 1970 Fender bass, Fender Custom Shop Thin Line Telly Roasted Maple. And back there is one of the SA220s, or 2200. So, and that's a old K Bacon Belmont. So, and there's Elvis. We'll leave it at that here at Victor Litz Music Center in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Thanks for checking it out. We look forward to helping you. Anything we can do, give us a call. We're here 7 days a week. Victor Litz Music.